Peru has come a long way from 2 decades of conflict between leftist rebels and the government. The fighting ended in the year 2000 with over 70,000 lives lost. But as Dan Collins reports, thousands are still missing and the search for them goes on.
A generation has passed, in some cases more. But memories don't fade. Nearly 30 years ago, the Peruvian Navy put down a prison mutiny on an island just off the coast here. Hundreds of prisoners accused of belonging to the Shining Path rebel group were killed. 3 decades on, and their families say they're still looking for justice and waiting for answers. Precious few relatives have been able to recover the remains of their loved ones killed in massacres at El Fronton and other prisons in 1986. For them, the slain inmates are among the 15,000 disappeared in the 2-decade conflict.
The only thing we want now is for the mortal remains of my brother to be returned to us. Then we can move on with our lives.
Otilia, here with her mother Patricia, says her brother Juan Fernando had not been sentenced to any crime when he was killed. Peru still has open wounds from the conflict in the 1980s and 90s, concluded the UN's Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances after a 10-day visit.
The past is not going to be buried just by ignoring it. The scars are there, people are still suffering, so the Peruvian society has to confront with that, and the best thing is to have a public discussion, more memory, more truth, more justice, and that will help the society to come to terms to these painful events of the past.
Peru's Justice Ministry did not respond to CCTV's request for an interview. Reconciliation remains controversial, such as the place of memory, a museum to the painful past, which must be relevant to the present, its president told CCTV.
This place is aimed at the new generations, those who do not remember those 2 decades, so that the past can never be repeated.
Meanwhile, as they visit their loved one's last resting place, some are still unable to leave the past behind. Dan Collins, CCTV, Lima.